This video demonstrates the replacement of the Hemsaw double column arm chains as found on models such as the H130, H160, CT2000, DC2038, the WF series, and the large double column billet saws. It is important to follow all safety practices and pay attention to all safety precautions and warnings in this video. This is an advanced procedure that should only be performed by qualified personnel. Crushing injuries could occur, causing serious injury or even death. Arm chains will stretch out over time, and it is recommended to replace them every 2 years. Before placing the saw in lockout tagout mode, lower the arm to the lowest position. Lower the arm by holding the joystick down until the arm is at the bottom and stops. While holding the joystick down, turn the power off with the power switch on the control panel. Once the arm is at its lowest position and the power has been turned off at the control panel, place the saw in lockout tagout state to ensure the saw is electrically and hydraulically discharged. Check the saw level to be sure the saw is sitting level. Adjust the level using the leveling bolts at each corner of the saw base to start off with a saw in a level state. Begin by removing any sheet metal covers on the left and right side of the arm that cover the chains on the front or rear sides of the saw. For this video, we are demonstrating arm chain removal on an H130 HA DC. Sheet metal covers will vary from saw model to saw model, but there will be sheet metal covers over chains, cylinders, and chain sprockets on all models. Next, remove the fasteners that connect the top sheet metal cover. You will want some help lifting and removing any of the larger covers, as they can be heavy and awkward for one person to remove safely. After removing the sheet metal covers to expose the chains, sprockets, and chain connectors, use a machinist level to check level across the guide arm assembly or some component on the saw that will provide an accurate level reading for the arm. On those models that utilize the track bars and cam follower rollers, observe the roller and how it tracks on the track bars both before and after the new chain is installed. You will want these taken into consideration because the rollers should travel straight on the track bars. If the saw does not have a component suitable to check for arm level, such as with the CT2000 models, the only accurate method to have the arm reasonably balanced will be to note the track that each roller takes on the track bar. Note the location of the roller on the track bar before removing the chains, when the arm is at the bottom, and also when the arm is at the top. Do this before the saw is put into lockout tagout mode. This will provide some reference point for adjusting the chains to the original alignment. When arm chains stretch, they are no longer the same pitch as the sprockets. Look for wear or damage to the sprockets. Before removing any of the chains, mark the chain and sprocket using a paint stick so that the new chain can be placed on the sprocket in exactly the same position. Measure the amount of threads that are exposed below the retainer nut on each chain before you remove the nuts and spacers. Note this dimension, as it will give you a starting reference when the new chains are installed. Loosen the set screw in the nut. Remove the nut and spacers from the threaded chain anchor that is connected to each end of the chain. A removable master link or connector link is used to connect the chain to the threaded chain anchor. Remove the master link keeper clip and press the link out of the threaded chain anchor. Any connector links or master links should be replaced with new ones. Remove and replace one side at a time, leaving the other chain on the other side of the arm in place. Once the chain is marked and removed from one side of the saw, cut a new section of chain that is the same length with the same number of links as the sections removed. Lay the chain out on the floor, and after counting the links on the old chain to be sure the new section of chain contains the same number of links, cut the new section of chain. Lay the two sections side by side, and transfer the paint stick mark from the old chain onto the new section of chain. There may be an offset link attaching the chain to the chain anchor. Replace this connector if there is one. Inspect the sprockets for damage or wear. Check threaded chain anchors for cracking, thread wear, or thread stretch before installing the new chains. When reinstalling master links, be absolutely sure they are firmly seated with the keeper clips securely fastened. Replace all connector links or master links with new ones. Reconnect the chain to the threaded chain anchor. Place the convex washer into the concave spacer as shown here, and reinstall the nut. Once the arm chains are reinstalled and reconnected on both arms, take the saw out of the lockout tagout state and re-energize the saw and control. Use the joystick to raise the arm a few inches and recheck the level. If there is any adjustment required, this can be accomplished by lowering the arm until it is all the way back down. Make adjustments to the retainer nut on the threaded chain anchor as needed, raising the arm between adjustments to check the level, and lowering the arm to slack the chain to make the adjustments as required. The tolerance is 5/1000 over 12 inches, using a 12-inch machinist level. Once the saw arm is determined to be level, return the saw to lockout tagout, reset the set screws into the bottom nut, and replace the sheet metal covers that were removed. This completes the Hemsaw arm chain replacement procedure.